Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Last night I was going through a stack of Hot Rod and Superstock magazines doing a little research, and I ran across this gem. It's a Hot Rod magazine from April 1975, and there's a great article in here about Richard Petty, the man and his cars. Stick around, let's have a look. Okay, guys, with all of Salvino's outstanding Petty Chargers out right now, the 72 coming out this month, I had to share this with you. Great information. Like I said, it's the April 1975 Hot Rod Magazine issue about Richard Petty. A great 7-page article. A lot of it goes into the family, things like that. Let's see, a lot about Richard and some of the cars we'll take a look at right here. The 62 or the 63 Plymouth here, and I don't know if I'm getting that close enough. The 64 Daytona winner, the 69 Talladega. That's not a Talladega. Actually, that's a look at the front end. That's a Cobra. But anyway, then the Superbird, and one of my all-time favorites, the 71 Plymouth, and then the 75 STP Charger. But this is, like I said, a great article, and I think you can still find them on eBay. I don't know what they run for, this magazine. Good information about Maurice and Dale Inman, and just a lot about Petty racing. But this is the thing that got me the most excited, is this page that shows the cars in the shop. Says inside Petty's STP Dodge, and I'm going to take the camera down so we can get a closer look at it here and let you take a look. And I am, by the way, going to put stills of each of these pictures and their captions up at the end of the video, and that way you can read the captions along with them too. But we'll take a quick look here. Here we've got the chassis on the jig, the tube chassis that they're building, and it gives a good little explanation down there about that. Like I said, I'll have the captions and the pictures in stills so you can stop them for research purposes. Under the hood, and I hope I'm not blocking my light out here for you, but it says here that the round tubing is 1.5 inch, and I thought it was bigger than that. Well, I guess you can see down in the front right here, but really good stuff there. The grill, the location of the hood pins. Let me get my pointer here. The location of the hood pins, the bracing. This is really good stuff. If you want to do some super detailing, let's look at this cockpit. And I like the note here at the bottom. It says note minimal, the minimal amount of upholstery. And you know, when we think about what the cars look like today, the cockpits, far cry different. This thing is really sparse in comparison. But I want to point out something here. You notice over the roll bars there's this big chunk of aluminum right here, and I'm going to put up some other pictures from the museum and a few other pictures that show that aluminum over the cars in the 67 Belvedere, the 69, the 72 Charger. So they kind of covered that stuff up on both sides. But and I'll tell you why I mentioned that in a minute, because normally you don't see the roll bars in a Petty car anyway. But I'll tell you why I'm showing that in just a minute. But it really is a pretty sparse looking cockpit there. And then we get down here, and I found this really interesting too. All of this aluminum work, you've got the grill here, the lower valance here that catches the air and pushes it back to the radiator here. But you notice these hoses, and this looks like it's a folded over piece of aluminum. I don't know if that's just where the airflow comes around and comes underneath this. You can see there's a hose on the other side and one over here, and they go down to the drum brakes for cooling. And I don't think that the Hurst Earhart disc brakes came into play until 77. It might have been 76, but I think it was 77 when the disc brakes came in. And I'm not really sure about that. Some of the teams may have ran them, and it might have depended on the short track or the super speedways. But really interesting, and I want to talk about the brakes there in a minute too. But going back up to under the hood here, this is really some good stuff. You see how the cool air intake goes to the oil cooler there. But really good stuff. But I just really found these hoses for the brake cooling really interesting, really cool. And of course, here's the 340 engine, and according to the article, it's bored out to 354.7. It's fitted with an Elbrock LT 340 intake and a 4150 Holley carburetor. And it's kind of hard to tell. That looks like a Petty Enterprise emblem logo. Best I can tell, yeah, I think it is. It resembled a Mickey Thompson valve cover, but right there it looks like it's Petty Enterprises ingrained into the valve cover, which I thought was really cool. Something else, someone said that they didn't think that the braided hose came in until about 78, but right here, and this is the 75, you can see the braided radiator hose running over here. The oil coolers that went through the valve covers, you see how that comes up here, and I thought it was kind of nifty the way they'd notched out the fan shroud to put the oil cooling caps right there too. And this one is hard to tell, but you know, they used to run 71, they ran the oil tank over under this fender and the battery down below that too right here. It's a weight thing. And it's hard to tell if that's still there, if they've relocated it yet. There's a good shot of the dual shock set. I get jacked up about research stuff like this because it's really cool to me. But the thing that got me the most is I'm going to be doing a unique petty car where the roll bar is going to be exposed on one side. And this particular car, check that out. You've got that X. And what I was talking about up here where this aluminum plate is, and you saw the other pictures there, is normally covered so you wouldn't see that. And here's a picture. This is the driver's side, by the way. And you see the A-pillar here. And here's a picture of Richard on the passenger side, and you see again that same configuration in the roll bars. And I just found that really unique, and that inspired me to do something. So let me share that with you real quick. I took one of my Salvino kits out, and I'm going to put the camera back up here real quick so I can use both my hands here. Let's see if I can get it a little bit lower here. I took one of the regular roll cages, and if you look right here, you see how the bottom, this X starts right at the lower supports, and it goes right to the curvature where you see the curve going back around to the back part of the cage and back in toward the firewall up here. Well, that's almost right scale there too. How about that? You can see where this X crosses. I decided, since I'm going to do one where the roll cage is going to be exposed, I thought I would try to go ahead and do that. So I marked the roll cage. The red part, let me get this where you can see it. The red portions are going to need to be removed, and I went ahead and did that on the passenger side. And you notice too, above the red marks, I went ahead and put a little black mark that tells me where the X actually has to stop right there. And I went ahead after I cut that out. Here's one with it cut out, the vertical supports anyway. And what I did was, let me grab a piece of tape and I'll show you real quick. And I'm going to do 2 sets of these things. And put this down. And by the way, these Salvino, let me grab my caliper here. These Salvino roll cages are 70 thousandths, which would be about in scale. That's spot on, as you can see there. That's 70 thousandths. Each of the bars, no matter which one we go to, it's 70 thousandths. And so I went over to my Plastrupton Evergreen stock, and I started digging through, and the closest thing I could find was 62 thousandths. So I always check everything anyway. Now this is the Evergreen 62 thousandths. And when I put it in the caliper and close it, look at that. It's actually 68 thousandths. So And here's the other thing. If you hold this right up to it, it's the same size. Well, I'm trying to get out of my own light here. It's about the exact size. So what I did was we put this down across, not to get my pointer again here, and I made it extra long for a reason. This went so much better in rehearsal, right? There we go. Because you want it to cross right where that center X is. I'll push that down. Then we'll get our other one in here. And we're going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to get it right here. You want that X in the center to be right there. And this is not something that normally you would see, but since I'm going to be doing one where the door panel is going to be removed, I wanted it to be accurate. And there we go. And I will say this, I went ahead and finished up one, and you can see that here. And it's still a little rough. I've got some sanding to do on it, and there's a lot of sanding involved to get everything nice and smooth. And I've got a little touch-up sanding yet to do here. But it's really not that hard to accurize that side roll bar. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff anyway. It's just fun to me to dive into that stuff. And going back to the disc or the drum brakes, I've done drum brakes on my Pearson. I'm going to take my camera back down again. I've done on my Pearson car, I did drum brakes and had the hub off, or the brake drum off so you could see it. And I did that with the 200 mile an hour Dodge Daytona as well, as you recall. And this time I am going to add, sorry, I keep shaking the camera there. I'm trying to do this one-handed. I am going to add this time where normally I have this hub removed so you can see all the springs and the assembly a little better. But with this one, I think I am going to go ahead and put the hub with the lug studs already on there all the way around. And you should still be able to see the springs and all that stuff too. And as you can see in these pictures of the Daytona, these drum brakes had to be, the brake shoes had to be scratch built. And I think I did 6 sets to get 2 sets that would work. And I might even done more than that. But I think when I do them this time, I'm going to see if somebody might be interested in casting them, because I have the slots cut in them here too, just like the racing pads were. I think there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 in the front and 4 in the back. And so I'm looking forward to getting into one of these things big time and doing it up too. But like I said, I enjoy this stuff, and I really was excited about sharing some great detail information with you. And like I said, I'll have the stills at the end so you can see this. And I hope it's been fun for you, because I've enjoyed this. Like I said, I've enjoyed sharing it too. I love finding cool and unique stuff like this. If you got something out of it, if you had a good time, if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. I've got plenty of old magazines that I bought back in the 70s, even into the 60s. I started buying Stock Car Magazine and Hot Rod. And so let me know. And look, check that out. $1, April 1975. And like I said, you might be able to find these still on eBay. I don't know about Amazon, but I have bought magazines that had some particular information about a car that I found online. So, you know, you never know. You never know. But I will post these, and feel free to use anything you'd like. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, a quick update on the configuration of those roll bars we just looked at. As you can see here in the 70 Superbird, and I'm sure it was on the flat nose 70 as well, and here's a shot of the 71 Roadrunner as well. The configuration of roll bars was a little different. If I find out when this started and ended on this little X pattern thing here, I'll let you know coming up. Thanks.